How you doing, YouTube? Hope you're all well. Hope your week's going fantastically. So I've just finished a spin class and a little bit tight from the workout, and I just want to do a little bit of flexibility work, just loosen off my body after the session. So it's a very basic stretch. We've all done this before, I'm sure we have. Just hopefully what I'm going to do now is just kind of look at a little bit of a technique and just try and polish the edges so you can get the best out of a stretch. So there's a couple of levels you can do. The first one, which I tend to start off with, just using it as a marker to see where I am. And basically, if a basic stretch starts to feel tighter, I know I need to do more of it. When the basic stretch starts to feel easier, I can always move on to the next one. So I can keep a gauge of what sort of flexibility and what sort of range of movement my hips are like. Most of us tend to have one hip which is slightly twisted or slightly forward compared to the other, which is why when you do this stretch, you'll probably find that your lower back or your spine may just have a few little clicks and cracks in there. But don't worry about that. Unless it hurts, then worry about it. But most of the time it doesn't hurt at all. Okay, so first thing we do, just lay down, bend both knees, feet on the floor, arms go out. Now, depending on which way you want to start, so I'm going to take my knees over to the right hand side, feet together, knees over to the right hand side. I'm going to keep my left shoulder and my left arm flat. So keep rotating those knees. Whichever side you're moving on to, moving to the right, right hand goes on top of a leg, and you can assist with that stretch. Now, the more you use the right arm to pull the stretch, the more the opposite shoulder wants to lift up. So we just use our back muscles, pull it back into the floor again, and start to breathe. Tuck those knees up. Most people will feel a stretch in their lower back. Some will feel a stretch in their glute muscle. A lot of people will feel a stretch through that chest muscle. Once you've held for around about maybe 30 seconds, I normally do 30 seconds, swap sides, then come back, do 45 seconds, swap sides, then go back again, do 1 minute, and then swap sides. So a little brace through the abdomen, keep your feet on the floor, knees up, adjust yourself, knees to the other side, knees going to the left, so right arm goes out, left hand goes on top of the leg, and again, you just ease that stretch. Really, really important you breathe. If you ever notice you're holding your breath, start to breathe. If you feel as though you can't breathe, the stretch is potentially just a little bit too intense, and you'll probably just want to just come off it a little bit. So on this particular stretch, I can feel it more side lower back, just above the hip, nothing in the glute at all, and a little stretch in the chest, but again, nothing major. Swapping sides. I know my left chest is a little bit tighter than my right, and I can feel that in terms of my left shoulder wants to lift up. It doesn't want to stretch. So I'm going to use my left back muscles to just pull the shoulder down to the floor. So that's your basic stretch. What you may want to do, you may actually not feel a stretch in there at all, so you want to move on to the next level. The next level is, instead of having both legs bent, straighten one of them, and then we've got one leg bent, the other leg straight, whichever leg is bent, that now rotates. Because we don't have the other leg bent, we've got more range of movement, we've got a greater range of movement to stretch with. Remember, just breathe. As you breathe in, you'll notice that the stretch will actually increase. And then as you breathe out, just increase that stretch gently. Relax there. Swap legs. One leg straight, other leg bent. Rotating my right leg to the left hand side. Much, much tighter. It's not too intense. Well, I should say I'm not making it too intense. I can just feel a stretch now, and I'm just going to hang out in this position. I can feel my right shoulder wanting to lift up. So I'll just use my right back muscles to pull that shoulder back to the floor again, and the stretch increases again. Just remember to breathe. Perfect. Now, one thing I must mention is, with any stretch, whenever you're stretching one muscle, the opposite muscle has got to shorten. Okay, it's just biomechanics. Is what has to happen. Now, a lot of people, as you've probably seen with my other videos, a lot of people actually get tight inner thighs, tight groin muscles. Most of the time it's because people cross their legs a little bit too much. So what actually happens is, as you're getting a bit of a stretch in the butt muscle, you may actually find you get a little bit of a tightness through the groin area, maybe a little bit uncomfortable, and it may actually be inhibiting a decent stretch through the lower back and through the butt muscle. So what you can do, if you do feel a little bit tension on the inner thigh, do you stretch both sides, whichever technique you want to do. You'll notice if you do one side, one groin will just be a little bit tighter than the other side. What you'll do is, when you're having a rest of that stretch, bring the soles of your feet together. Allow the knees just to fall out. You'll feel a stretch along the inner thigh. You'll also notice potentially that your lower back will lift up. That's unfortunately your body trying to defend itself from the stretch because it doesn't want to stretch. So what I need you to do is get your abdominals working and just push your lower back into the floor. You may need to just readjust your hips a little bit. Just push that lower back into the floor. Breathe and relax. And you'll feel a stretch coming through here. And you may actually feel a stretch in the deep abdominal area. It's not the abdominals getting a stretch, it's those hip flexors that cross through that area. Okay, so it's a really good combination. Rotation each side. Actually, I've just started. That was another stretch you could do. Just that one. Bit of a Brucey bonus stretch on that one. Not a bad stretch. But anyway, rotation stretch either side. Feel a groin stretch or a groin contraction. Once you've done your stretches, into your groin stretch. As I say, 30 seconds each side, 45 seconds each side, 1 minute, and you really want to be building it up to 2 to 3 minutes. You want to spend a lot of time stretching. If you're going to spend a lot of time doing your cardiovascular work and your strength training, you also want to spend a lot of time doing your core stability work and your stretching, just so you get a good balance. Okay, I hope you found this video informative and you'll get on with some of the stretches and some of the other videos. Share, like, subscribe. If you know anybody who's got any of these tight areas, send them the video over. I do it with lots of other people and we just help each other out. Okay, if you need anything, give me a shout, leave a message at the bottom and I'll see if I can do a video for you. I'm always looking for new content. There's loads of stuff I could do. So if you can tell me what you want, I can do one specifically for yourself and it may help other people out as well. Okay, until next time, take care, look after each other, look after yourself. Don't go breaking any more legs or arms or anything like that. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.